I sort of feel guilty with reasonable doubt. I'm sort of absolved. We need change in the world, and I will. On this I feel very much resolved. Are you there? Am I there? Are you there? Is life fair? Are you there? Are you with us? Are we with you and your cosmic stare? Billions and billions of stars, amazing one of them is ours. Billions of stars in space, one of them is our point of grace. Are you there? Am I there? Are you there? Is life fair? Are you there? Are you with us? Are we with you and your cosmic stare?
Thank you, Dr. Rob, Dr. Robert.
Either way.
Thank you so much. See, this is what happens. Sometimes people become that ignited and that inspired. And that is an example of what happens when spirit moves at the Revolution of Love. So thank you so much for blessing us with that. And thank you, Mylene, for starting us off right with our song as well. And so now I'm going to invite you, if you have a candle, please do join me in lighting a candle. And after that, we will have the triplets lead us in some breathing. Ooh. Woo-hoo, spirit is moving today. Okay. And so we come together intentionally now, lighting candles, maybe from all around the country, and recognizing how important this time is together, that is joyful, that is hopeful, that it is so soulful, and that we are living in such a time as this. And if the triplets are there, I would love if they would lead us in the breathing.
Okay. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nakai. Hello, everybody. My name is Nakai.
No, you're Leonella.
Hi, everybody. My name is Leonella. Put your hands together, everybody. Everybody. Take 3 deep breaths. Why are you taking?
Say breathe in the good.
Okay. Prevent the cat and out the yucky.
Okay, now she wants to do it.
This is mine.
One more round. One more. Say one more. Hey, say one more.
One more.
Okay, sit down. Say good job, everybody.
Good job, everybody. Good job,
Oh, thank you so very much to both of you. We are so grateful for each of you.
Oh, kisses.
Work through it. You're just working through it, aren't you? Yes, you are. Okay, we love you. And we thank you for leading us. Surely remember that every element of this service is all of us coming together, multi-generationally. Yes, yes. And so now you're going to, thank you, Manny. We're going to turn within for a word of prayer, and always remembering that I will just pray in the way that I pray, and recognizing, as Rob just eloquently sung for us, that we are coming from very diverse backgrounds. And so it is all good here at the Revolution of Love, however you pray or send love or send good thoughts. So let's do it, my friends. Turning within, and one more collective breath in together. And breathing out. And I want to recognize our Facebook family right now that may be watching with us, and join them, or ask for them to join us in this prayer, and ask for each of us right now. I would like to ask each of you to hold the field very high right now as we are moving into this prayerful time, into this service. And so God, one with many names, however we wish to call you, we center love right now in our hearts, and we feel very rooted and grounded in this love, as we also feel lifted in this love, as we also seek to know you better and seek to keep our gaze upon you in a very expansive, visionary way. I pray for believing tonight. I pray that people come back to their knowing tonight, that this is initiation time, and that there is no more time to equivocate, that the time is surely now, that every time we sink deeply into our knowing, that we believe in ways that are miraculous, that we believe in the miracles that just await us and that are happening now. Amen. And so it is a revolution of love that we seek to create, that we believe in, a revolution of love in our lives. Yes. And a revolution of love in the world. And God, we come before you in a bold way, and we make no bones about it, if that is a saying. God, you know what's on our hearts. You know what's on my heart, and you know what's on the hearts of the people that are tuning in. And so right now I feel called to lifting up a prayer for healing for people right now, for folks that may, that are part of our congregation across the country that may be ailing, that may be unwell from this virus, or in this community right now, if they are tuning in. But a prayer for healing, if it's the virus, if it's some other malady, maybe it's another, some kind of spiritual malady. We call in healing right now for, yes, the rural community, and let us also recognize the communities all around us. Oh, in so many vast ways, so many spiritual communities, religious communities, and on and on and on. God, it is time. It is high time that we come together in the spirit of believing. I pray that people truly receive a blessing tonight, and I let the rest go to you. And everybody, as we're praying right now, I'm going to ask that you let the rest go to God, or however you understand God, that you do a surrender, if you will. God, let us, you have all of us, you have us. We are poised and we are ready. Show us the way. And so it is. Amen. Amen. Ashe and aho. Okay. At this time, we want to take a moment to reflect on the lands on which we reside. We are coming from many places, and we acknowledge the ancestral homelands and traditional territories of Indigenous people who have been here since time immemorial, and to recognize that they are still here fighting for human rights, for lands and their culture. I am in Henderson, Nevada right now, and I acknowledge and honor the Southern Paiute and the Chemehuevi. Please take a moment to acknowledge the Indigenous people of the lands where you are located in the chat, on Facebook. You can do that in the comments section, and we thank you. We have a new edition now of a path acknowledgement, something that I personally haven't quite seen done before at a service. And Taylor X is going to read the path acknowledgement for us right now. Taylor X.
Hello, everybody. It's Taylor X. He and him, and I'm in beautiful North Hollywood, California, land of the North Hollywood, Californians. Okay, this is a path acknowledgement, and we take this time to acknowledge and honor the many paths and beliefs represented here. We honor all religions, philosophies, ideologies, belief systems, healing modalities, and spiritual perspectives. We honor the life experience and wisdom you have brought here today. We respect you and welcome you into this brave space. We are emphatically state that disrespect, prejudice, discrimination of any kind has no place here. We empower one another through respect and strength to be true revolutionaries of love and justice. We see you, we hear you, we love you. If you have a path, faith, tradition, belief system, please share it in the chat so we can get to know you better. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor X. So that is a new edition, hot off the press. And if you have, like Taylor X just read for us, said to us, if you have a faith tradition or some kind of belief system, spiritual belief system, path, modality that is you, then please share it. Let us know and see who we are. Let us connect even further and create community in these ways that are vital in such a time as this. Yes? Yes. So welcome. If you are just tuning in, my name is Reverend Felicia Helen Parazader. I am the founder of the Revolution of Love, established 2012 in Berkeley, California, and big breath, and moved to Los Angeles and took it there. And now I'm in Henderson because of COVID. I get to be with my folks here. And so recognizing right now, though, because of this last almost year, and bless us as we continue to get through this time, yes, that we are around the country. And so we're going to just keep on growing out our circle and continue to doing these services. So this is one way, one thing we have at the Revolution of Love that is here for your healing, that is here for your revealing, that is here for your educating, that is here for your integrating, yes, and that is here for your changing. So what we hope for at these Sunday night services, my friends, is that you will, yes, get some respite, get some nourishment, and also be ignited. Like Dr. Gross singing the song, ignited into composition. And that is, make no mistake, a form of artivism, if you will. So it's a both and here. It is the inner work and it is the outer work. Like how I just have this sitting here, just so. Yes, I thought you did. Inner work, outer work. Inner work, outer work. So we are not blissed out on any mountaintop doing spiritual bypass. We recognize the injustice, we recognize the violence, we recognize the structures and the systems of violence that are at play. And we engage those as we also see the beauty, as we also see the life lessons. So it is a lot to hold, and we are grateful for your continued deep engagement that we have all been feeling lately. I know I have been. I know Manny and I have talked about it, that we are seeing this deep engagement, and we continue to stand with Black Lives Matter, the racial justice movement that is happening again in a different way, in a profound way. So we continue to stand with this movement in solidarity, recognizing that this is how we have to dismantle all of the forms of violence, that this is one way, by naming it, recognizing it, supporting it. It's a lot. It's a lot, but we don't shy away here. No, we don't. We keep going, and we're grateful for your, like I said, your engagement in this. Let us now have our Revolution of Love blessing, which you heard Taylor X say a moment ago. It's just basically 3 sentences, and it is: we see you, we hear you, we love you. So even if you're on Facebook Live, please say it loud, say it proud, get into it. Everybody come off mute if you're on Zoom, and let us share this blessing together. If you want to lift your hands up, that's fine. If not, that's cool too. So come off mute, recognizing we're going to hear a lot of voices, and that's cool. We like it. 1, 2, 3. We see you.
See you.
We hear you.
Hear you.
Love you.
Love you. Yes. Keeping this, if you even want to rub your hands together tonight, feel the energy move, bring it up from your feet. Whoo! Yes. And remember to ground. Remember to stay grounded. As we get expansive, we also remember to stay grounded because that's responsible. Yes, it is. Have a blast. Manny put those Zoom guidelines in. So if anything gets strange, if we have any people here that are, I guess what they call what, haters or trolls, bye-bye, you're gone. And if you're interested and really committed and seeking, because we're all just on this path, learning and growing, then we keep it high, yeah? And we keep moving forward. That's right. So without further ado, we're going to have our mission statement and our vision statement. And Betsy is going to read it for us, and Betsy will read the mission, and Bishop Nicholas Brown will read the vision statement.
Okay, hello, my name's Betsy, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I'm from Sylmar, California, and my word is accountability. The revolution of love, ministry and movement. The mission statement, an inclusive, diversive, global ministry and movement, focusing on the inner work of self and the outer work of service through the teachings of nonviolence, spiritual psychology, and philosophy.
Thank you so much, Betsy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that word of accountability too. And now Bishop Nicholas Brown, would you read our vision statement?
Good evening, everybody. I think I'm on. Yes, I am. Bishop Brown here in Edison, New Jersey. And my pronouns, I guess, would be he, him, and his. My word of blessing for you tonight is surprise. May we be surprised by this night and all that it brings. And so we have our vision statement. The Revolution of Love is a global ministry and movement of spiritual renewal and spiritually, and welcome those who may be agnostic or atheist. At the Revolution of Love, we commit to our highest good. We transform through a heart and mind opening experience, and we claim our divine responsibility and honor to be change agents in the world. We do not enable, co-sign, align with any system, structure, or policy of hatred, oppression, or violence. We do stand for compassion and radical love. We believe in God with all of its names. We are the visionaries. We are the dreamers, architects of peace, strategists, creating a new world of what ought to be today. So no matter who you are, what you look like, where you come from, who you love, we welcome you. We love you. The time is now, and this is the revolution. Rev?
Thank you so much, Bishop Nicholas Brown. Thank you for reading that for us. And I'm sorry if that was, you could hear me typing. I was trying to type in my faith tradition in the chat. So forgive me if you heard some clicking, clacking, that was just me. So sorry, I got kind of ahead of myself. So hopefully we are feeling grounded in our mission statement and our vision statement. Those are in our Facebook group. It is also on my website and soon to be our Roll website. So you can always go back and reference those things if you need a refresher, if you need to ground and tune in. Yes. Manny, are you there, Manny? Are you going to do those announcements for us?
I totally am. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can hear you loud and clear. All right. Fun stuff. Hello, everyone. I am Manny. I am located in Southern Nevada. My pronouns are he and him, and my role here at Roll is a services and support minister. So my word for you today, my blessing, if you will, is trust. Trust, can easily be broken, but it is what is, what binds us all together, and may we find that with the things that are harder to believe in. All right, so we've got some announcements here. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of me, guys and gals here, but let me pull them up for us here. Okay, so welcome to our 2021 announcements for the month of January. Preceding these will be a link to each of the topics that I'll be discussing in just a moment. So you'll be able to snag those, right after, and maybe save them so that you can access those links after service. So there'll be a Linktree for a one-stop shop to be informed of all of the latest happenings here at the Revolution of Love. You can sign up for Rev Felicia's midweek boost and service invite, connect with the role Facebook group, and learn of ways to be of service and get into action. Rev Felicia will be on Zoom with the Holy Spirit Retreat Center, leading discussions and teaching on topics such as forgiveness and anger. Anger will be coming up, and this is from a spiritual and justice-based lens. These are the first and third Tuesday of the month, starting at 7 to 8:30 Pacific time. So, how is the Revolution of Love a movement? By inviting you into action. In 2021, we will continue to present to you different events and actions that you can take part in. Even during a pandemic, even for folks that may not be able to get out into the streets, you can do something as well. First off, educate yourself. Check out our abolition resources link in our Linktree. Remember, Revolution of Love is a visionary ministry and movement committed to justice and agape love. Between services, we educate ourselves on what may seem idealistic or utopian, that we bend the arc towards justice. Now, on that note, our friends at CLU, which is Clergy and Lady United for Economic Justice, are having a webinar event, The State of Labor. A discussion on the intersection of faith and labor. The pandemic has also exposed our true reliance on essential workers and will have lasting impacts on working people, the economy, and the labor movement. Register via our Linktree to learn more about the current state of labor, the campaigns planned for 2021, and what you can do to get involved in the local movement for economic and social justice. Now, you must be thinking, right? What else can I do to take action? Go to blacklivesmatter.com and find a chapter near your city. White identified folks can look up a local chapter of Surge, which is showing up for radical justice at the .org website. Surge is consistently putting out events, calls to action, and webinars, so look out for those. Now, a word about social media, and thank you for hanging tight so far. Are you subscribed to the Revolution of Love Ministry and Movement YouTube channel? If not right now, then please do when you can. Those can also subscribe to Rev Felicia's YouTube. We are live on Facebook right now, so hello Facebook. Everyone there, please share this service either tonight or tomorrow on your social media pages. This is one way to get the word out about this ministry. In that same light, we are all receiving a great blessing from these services. If at all possible, please donate. No amount is too big or too small. Whether possible or not, find some other way to give back and support Revolution of Love. A healthy church is in turn a healthy reciprocity flow. Share Revolution of Love on your Facebook, take a webinar, or invite people to service. Getting the word out is one way everyone can give back. We appreciate you and we love you. Be blessed. Until next time, thank you for listening.
Let's hear it. Come on. Let's hear it from Manny in those announcements. Thank you so much, Manny. And yes, on our Linktree, I know, Manny, you're going to go through and put the links up, but also know that on our Linktree, there is the link to register to the CLU webinar he mentioned on Tuesday morning, as well as a whole host of other things, as well as our new roll store, t-shirts, hoodies. I mean, come on. You got it all here. So just take a look at the Linktree if you don't want to go through all these links that he literally just put up. and you can have a one-stop shop there as well. It's up to you. Without further ado, now let's move on over to Taylor X, who is going to say something about our memes, our graphics that he has been so diligently doing. Taylor X.
Greetings again, greetings and salutations. Okay, everybody, we've been making some more memes, and you know, they basically have a quote by ORev, RRev, and we also have all the information to give to your friends and anyone else that wants to come out, so they could get into the Zoom and get to this service. Pretty please with sugar on top. Take those memes and spread them throughout the internet, make them go viral, do everything you can. And that would be great. We would love to grow the Revolution of Love more than it's already grown. And thank you to everybody that's already here.
Thank you, Taylor X. And I like how you said that, because the Revolution of Love is happening. There's so many folks that are committed to this work of justice and radical love. And so we recognize that it's happening, and we're just going to continue to keep the pressure on and keep that momentum high. Yeah. And now Chris is going to say something about our new Seva role directory. Chris.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris. Pronouns she, her, hers, and I reside in Lake Balboa, California. Hi, Judy. Thanks for the wave. Yes, I am putting together the directory. We are updating it. So if you would like to change your information, edit your information, or be included in the directory, please contact me via Facebook Messenger. You can find me on Facebook via Christine Elizabeth. I don't have my last name in there. Many of you have, and I really greatly appreciate that. And there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of engagement and enthusiasm with this, and that excites me. I know it excites the Rev. It's amazing to see how much talent there is in this community. I mean, I guess that shouldn't be amazing, but it's fun to see how talented and how generous everybody is with their time and their skills and everything. Don't be afraid to ask questions. If you don't know, no question is too small, and I will answer you immediately. If you want to know what is in what you already have in there, I will let you know that. If you need anything changed, I will edit it for you. Whatever it is that you need, don't feel free. I mean, feel free to contact me at any time. Seriously, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm still.
Okay, well, we'll try not to do that.
That's all right. That's all right.
Not do that to Chris, because
Yeah.
we want Chris to be spearheading this project for a long time. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let us, and we are also on Twitter now. So I just want to let you know that.
Great. Great. Thank you, Chris. Let's everybody, really raise it up here, because this is important. Thanks so much for that announcement. And, the way that you will get that directory is by subscribing to our email list. So hopefully you are subscribed to our email list. When you get your invite to service on Thursday afternoon, there is the link to the Seva directory. So that way you can be more linked in, and we can really continue to connect with one another in between service, which is so important for your vitality, for your spiritual sustenance and nourishment right now. Absolutely. Let's see now. Let's take a breath. Let's breathe in. I'd like us to prepare now more fully, because Dr. Robert Gross is going to say a little bit about his next composition, his next musical composition. And I would just like to introduce you to him a little bit more for those of you that may not know about him. Dr. Robert Gross is a board certified music therapist in the Indianapolis area and holds a doctorate in music composition from University of Southern California. His music can be found at www.robertgrosscomposer.com. He lives in Anderson, Indiana with his wife and his 13-year-old son. And so, Robert, if you could just tell us a little bit about this musical project before you play it for us, that would be wonderful.
Of course. Reverend has been working diligently on, as you all know, on the Hope Cycle for the past several weeks. Before she introduced the Hope Cycle to all of you, I got to know it a bit myself and was very inspired by the message and the clarity of message behind it. And I thought, it would make, each step of the Hope Cycle, there are 7 steps altogether, would make an interesting piece of music. So I wrote a 7-movement piece for chamber ensemble. I'd like to share with you now one of those movements, not all 7 movements, we don't have time, but one of the movements anyway. This is the movement Believing. And this is when we have left the cave and we have found, I think, clarity of purpose. And that's what I'd like to communicate in this music, is clarity of purpose. That's what I hope comes across. So this is an instrumental piece. I'm going to try to share my screen and hopefully this will work technically. Okay, here we go. Can you hear it?
No, what you might want to do is stop the share. Oh, there you go. I'm hearing stuff.
I'm only hearing the flute part, Rev. I don't know why that is. Rev, I'm sorry. I'm only hearing the flute part, and I don't know why that is.
I see.
Okay. I apologize for this. Can we put a hold on this until next week? I am really sorry.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely fine. This is just, I guess, what was meant to happen. So not to worry at all. And we're going to just keep on moving. And
I think I have the wrong file and I apologize, Rev.
That's all right. Not to worry, Rob. We'll just suspend that and we'll get more excitement around it.
Yeah,
so
I apologize, Rev.
Don't worry, don't worry at all. If you could stop the share and I'll just go right into the message. So let us prepare now. Imagine now with me that we were just blessed with Dr. Robert Gross's music. I actually want to say this right now as we enter this space, that last night I was listening to his music, this composition, this 6th stage of Believe on repeat. And while it was lifting me, I was remembering back to a time of knowing. And that is in fact what I want to ignite you into this evening. And so let us further come now into this time. And so again, like we do here, let us breathe in deeply, breathe in through the nostrils, my friends, breathe in. And when you're ready, out, breathing out, exhaling. And again, like we did last time, please feel those feet on the ground. Feel your feet on the ground. Maybe even do a body scan, literally, physically touching the body temple. Maybe even now, as you touched your legs, now come back into your heart. Breathe in. We do this work on multiple levels. We do this work in our minds, yes, but also in our hearts and also in our bodies. And so I'd like us all to do that. I invite us, open your arms if it is comfortable for you, if you are able. And I need you all to create this together. I cannot speak at you at this time. I don't want to. We need to do this portion of the service even more together than what we have already been in this evening. So we imagine, please with me, holding this force field high, holding this high, maybe in your mind's eye. It has been my experience. It has been my experience that even the best of us don't believe. It has been my experience that even the best of us don't believe in a world without war, in a world without policing, in a world without violence in any form. It has been my experience that even the best of us, when push comes to shove, please feel this with me, when push comes to shove, there is some hard line. And it's almost as though we're going, I'm going to keep this one for me. I can't believe that. I won't believe that. It has been my experience that this comes from a place of deep woe, a deep despair, a hopelessness, everything that the hope cycle is not about. It has been my experience that we are in a challenge for our lives. This stage of the hope cycle, the 6th stage of believe, is a demand. It is an initiation. See, the earlier stages of this hope cycle, and if you were not here, it's okay, just feel this with me. The earlier stages were more of a soft ask, an invitation out of the desert, an invitation into the water, an invitation into the jungle, a little bit more of a harder invitation into the cave to sit with God as you understand God and know God. Not so in this 6th stage. See, this is where there is an initiation. It isn't, can you believe? It isn't, will you believe? It is, do you believe? And so as we leave the cave and we are met with the wayshore, the some kind of guide, as we are met with this person, we are asked point blank, do you believe? And it's not, can you believe? Can you believe in a world without violence? Can you believe that your life can change? Can you believe that this world will change? It's, do you believe? There's no more equivocating. There's no more soft asks or requests. This is a demand. And as we say here, the time is now. See, this sounds like a hard demand, but it's not. We have had plenty of time in this hope cycle to get our wits about us, to gain hope, to gain curiosity, to gain wonder, to lift our souls and our spirits out of the desert. We have had time in this cave. Pardon me, I skipped the jungle. In the jungle to look at the forms of violence. And Manny, please put the definition of violence up in the chat. We have had time in the jungle to look at the forms of violence, the many forms of violence that impale us, that we have impaled ourselves upon. And in that cave, my friends, yes, we did sit with God. We got right with it. We looked at what needed to go so that we could grow. We sat in grief We sat with our traumas. We were able to release it, where we were able to also integrate it and come alive into new experience and new beauty. But now this is different. This is different. See, where we're going, maybe no one has gone before. If we are going to create a revolution of love, then there can be no equivocating about believing that it exists, about believing in a world without the military, without the police, without the prison industrial complex, without the death penalty. You fill in the blank. And instead, in a world that is rooted and fruited in justice, in radical love. It has been my experience, my friends, that people say they believe it, and then you see their actions, you hear their words, you can even almost view their thoughts, and you see the cleavage, you see the disconnect. And that is due to socialization, it is due to indoctrination, it is due to life experiences that are painful, that create a deep hopelessness and despair in our hearts and in our souls. So yes, I understand, we understand that it is very hard to believe. I remember being at the Islamic Society of West Valley some years ago for an event, and there was a young 11-year-old girl sitting there. And at this event, she raised her hand and she said, "Is racism illegal? Is racism illegal?" See, her mind has not been fettered yet. She still believed. Just by asking that question, you can see the potency of spirit. You can feel it. And there's God calling again. There's spirit moving again on whatever level with that ding. Out of the mouths of babes is the point to that story. Out of the mouths of babes. Okay, this is very intense work. And I want to get us back to a place of true ignition into our knowing. Because as I described, the reasons that we may no longer believe as far as how we are indoctrinated, how we are socialized, our own life experiences, our own pain and our own wounds, there is yet another one that I need to amplify tonight. And that is the forgetting of knowing. That is the forgetting, no. That is the loss and the denying of your knowing. Let us go back. Go back to when you were very young. And I've said this to you, I've asked you this before at these services, and if you saw the Instagram video I did yesterday, you will know. I said, do you remember when you were very young and you had a sense of knowing? And it wasn't so much about what you knew or the things that you knew. It was just a deep sense of knowing, a divine knowing, maybe, an inner knowing, a deep knowing. It's interesting because I don't think it's often talked about, but boy, is it sure rebuked. Is it sure demonized? Is it sure abolished? I'm talking to the truth tellers right now at this service. Us truth tellers, us, all of us, I believe we're all truth tellers. You know that that knowing at some point was blotted or tried to be, maybe you fought really hard. Maybe it didn't hit you. I know it hit me. Demonized, the knowing demonized, the knowing abolished, denied. And see, when that knowing gets rebuked enough, when it gets denied enough, when it gets demonized enough in you, yeah, you stop believing. You stop believing. You stop believing in a world where justice exists. You stop believing in signs like this. You stop believing that a radical love exists. You stop believing that a revolution of love can exist. You stop believing, as I said earlier with this example, that your life on an interpersonal or on a personal level can change. So it would seem to me that the answer is, first, to come back to our knowing. There's almost a wound as I'm sharing this. Remember, we are creating this together. As I'm sharing this with you, there's almost a deep chest wound that we can feel, that I can feel from all the times your knowing has been denied. All the times that innate knowing was not listened to, was not honored, was not seen as truth, as truth. Schopenhauer, the philosopher, talked about truth passing through stages. First off, it is ridiculed. Secondly, it is violently opposed. And in the third stage, it is accepted as self-evident. And so when you think of this, you realize, yeah, it's scary to reconnect to truth, to knowing. Think about truth tellers throughout history, our story. Think about those truth tellers that have stood relentlessly in their knowing, that were connected to their knowing. And what has happened? Victimization, martyrdom, demonization. So it's not just in our families of origin. No, it is societal, it is cultural, it is on in all of these many ways. But if we are truly going to create a revolution of love, then we cannot equivocate. We can equivocate no longer, I should say, when we are asked, do you believe? And the way that we can unequivocally say, I do believe, I believe, is by reconnecting to our knowing, and to never again gaslight oneself or someone else, and to never again accommodate or avoid hatred or violence in ourselves or someone else, and to unsubscribe from any system or structure of violence. Amen to this. These are the demands that we are being asked of or for. And so tonight we are on the precipice, standing on the precipice and being asked, do you believe? I don't know about you, but I believe. We don't have to understand how things are going to change. We don't have to know when it's all going to change. And again, this could be your personal life. It could be in the world, in this country. Forget that. Believe. Believe. So let us connect now Let us connect now into that deep place. It is sometimes called the third eye point. And come back now, my friends, and maybe go back to a time when you were very young, when you were very small, and you just knew things. And this knowing, maybe you hid it because you didn't even know what it meant, but you knew it was there. And I pray that, oh, I do pray this truly. I pray that was nurtured in you. And if I know anything, I bet all of us here have a story about the demonizing or the rebuttal or the denial of our knowing. And so let us remember that role. This is a brave space. And we commit to never repudiating, never rebutting, never denying someone's knowing, ever. Ever. No. If we are going to create this revolution of love, we have to believe and we have to absolutely commit to our knowing and also respecting the knowing of everybody, not only in this circle, on this Zoom, but on the Facebook and in the people that we meet. However, I have to add now, I have to add because, and it sounds like double talk. If someone is not connected and they are very disconnected and very far away from source, spirit, God, Allah, Jesus, Buddha, whatever, love, however one calls God with many names, and they are so disconnected that they are exhibiting violence and hatred in severe forms, and maybe what is called psychopathology, the pathos. We are not here to honor that. We are not here to give space to that. This is some big work, but we signed up for this. We are here. We are here now, living now, breathing now, creating the life lessons now. And we are not alone in this. You know, the lie is that we think that there isn't enough people who believe. There are plenty of people who do believe. I want us to just ignite a little bit more into our knowing tonight. And if that's all that you hear, ignite into your knowing tonight so that you may live from a place of truth and so that you may believe wholeheartedly. Yes, that I think is all. That's all. I want to repeat those three things, because this is the lookout point. When you're on the precipice and someone says, this figure, so to speak, says, do you believe? The way you can continue to say, I do believe, so we can make that ascension up to this next stage of love that awaits us, is by never again gaslighting. I said this earlier, never again gaslight. Never again gaslight yourself, never again gaslight somebody else. I know that's a negative I never usually talk about in negatives. Going to tonight, never again gaslight. Number 2, never again accommodate or avoid hatred and violence. Never again, not doing it. And number 3, this is very important, unsubscribing from the systems and the structures of violence, constantly looking for it, noticing it, engaging it. I have sat with good people in interfaith circles, and I have seen them continue. And this is not a judgment. This is a higher, just a perspective that I've noticed. Good people still continuing to subscribe to ways of violence, to operating systems of violence. No more, no more. These are demands that are being asked of us. And we have the opportunity, we are not little kids, we have the opportunity as spiritual beings resonating with a higher power to, yes, never again. No longer gaslighting, no longer accommodating or avoiding, and no longer subscribing. If we screw up, which we probably will, we begin again. We begin again. Beginner's mind, very Zen. We begin again. Do you believe? Do you believe? Let's believe together, my friends. Come back. Ignite tonight into your inner knowing, the highest knowing. You know what it is. We know. Remember, the truth does set us free. And so it is. Bless you. Amen. Amen to that part. Closing up that part. And so as we fall in, as we carry now this message of knowing, receiving it as a restoration, as a restorative, I want to say a project, a project. No longer denying, no. See, when we believe we can receive, when we believe we can see. Yes, it is true. It is true. And I invite you to put those prayer requests, first name only, please, for privacy, for folks. Put your prayer requests in the chat, and we continue to now hold this prayer circle for people. Please do this together. Okay. And so, Holy One, one with many names, coming before you in a spirit of humility, in a spirit of love, in a spirit of forgiveness, in a spirit of believing, yes, a spirit of believing, in a spirit of knowing, a reconnection and recommittal to this knowing. And we seek you. I ask a prayer for each and every person here, that if they ever get scared, because it is scary, they get scared of that knowing, of connecting into that truth, that they remember you. Yeah, that they remember you. That they remember the ancestors that are with us, pushing us and guiding us forward. And that they even remember this time right now tonight, January 24th, of whatever time it is, that we can really draw strength from you and from one another. And so a blessing upon these people for love. And your grace and your joy and your mercy upon them. And I will turn my attention to the chat. Let's see. Let's see, prayer request. Let me see. Prayer request for Kathy and her family. So let us lift up. This is on behalf of Dr. Robert Gross. Prayer request for Kathy and her family. Yes. Yes, for healing. And then on behalf of Judy, prayers for her cousin and her family who've been exposed to COVID last week, and her husband exhibiting symptoms her cousin's husband, I believe, exhibiting symptoms, and healing for them. Yes, we are praying. We are praying right now. And on behalf of Jennifer, please pray for her friend Anita, who is also recovering from COVID. And it has been over a month since her diagnosis, but she is still feeling the effects. And so we continue to lift up Anita. I would like to also lift up a prayer for someone in our community that is dealing with the virus. And so let us lift them up for healing right now. Yes, for healing and for absolute restoration of the lungs, the body temple. We ask this humbly. We ask it wholeheartedly. And on behalf of Mylene, continued prayers for the unhoused, absolutely lifting up folks that are experiencing homelessness. Yes. And on behalf of Taylor, for his mom, Tyler X, yes, his mom can resolve the situations with her granddaughter and see her great granddaughter without drama. So we'll say also, if I may, Taylor, we'll say with some ease and with some peace coming in and resolve coming in. And on behalf of Betsy, prayers for healing for our world. And yes, from Chris, prayers for Leslie, who has COVID, for her brother Marty, who is recovering from COVID, and for the loss of his wife to COVID. There's a lot of this, my friends. Do you see this? So we have to continue these prayers of healing. We have to pull it up from our feet and ask God to help us. Prayers of healing and hope and courage for Chris's brother, Fred, who has stage 3 cancer. And so we lift up Fred right now. And on behalf of Manny, prayers for his brother Michael, who requires a blinding ray of hope for his darkest days. So we lift up Michael right now, that he sees the candle in the hope cycle, that he sees the divine spark that comes in ever so boldly into his life right now. And so let us hold here just for another moment in case there are any more prayers. And even if someone is not able to write in, let us hold this, knowing that there is much healing that is needed. And that may be you. That might be you. God, a prayer, a healing balm upon these wonderful folks. God bless them. We know you love them. Physical healing. Return to believing. Restoration of knowing. Return of joy. Thank you for being with us, Holy One. Thank you for loving us, Holy One. Keep our feet on the ground. Keep our gaze upon you. And we say, and so it is. Amen. Amin. Ashe. Aho. Right now. Hold on. One more prayer came in. Prayers for strength to those working to heal the violence to earth, nature, and our humanity, on behalf of Sherry. Yes. And so we close up, also recognizing there were probably prayers on Facebook. So we will pray throughout the week for those prayers. We will look at those prayers tonight. And we close this time up now, knowing we can come back here at any moment. And we give thanks. I turn it back to you, Dr. Gross.
Thank you, Rev. I wanted to close with a song that I wrote about 20 years ago, before the Rev and I had even met, which is a song I wrote about finding hope. And it's finding hope through developing healthy relationships with people, which I wasn't doing at that time. This is called Wizard. A child can be born with the absence of hope? Do you think a child child can be born with the ability to cope? Is it something you can find like a shining pot of gold? Or is it like a wild bird that you desperately try to hold? If I walked on a tightrope and on one side was hope, on the other side was dread, which way would I fall? Would it really matter that the wind's in my face, blowing me one way, when I'm trying to go the other? Do you think the power to heal extends to a broken heart? Do you think there's a surgeon in the world who can keep it all from falling apart? Is there some kind of wizard who can drink your tears like wine? Is he more than a myth or a dream, and can I make him mine? If I walked on a tightrope, but my balance was off and I couldn't hold on, would someone break my fall? Would it really matter if the person who did became my idol, up on a pedestal of dependence? Sometimes a child can be born with the absence of hope, left alone to fight all the way for the ability to cope. You can see it reflected in his eyes like a rainbow spot of gold, or in the eyes of the people that she desperately tries to hold.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you,
so
everybody.
much.
Oh, wonderful. Rob, we're so blessed to have you. And thank you for blessing us with music. Music, it takes us right into our hearts. Yes, it does. Wow. Well, I'm not quite back yet from that message. So I pray that you received something from it. And I pray that we return to our knowing, and that we emphatically believe. This is the initiation. There'll be one more sermon next week on the stage 6. And then we will make the ascension to love. I give thanks for everybody, all the voices that made this, all the people, all the bodies, including you, and the worship team that came together tonight. And thank you so much. And keep on practicing, keep on believing, and we will see you next week. And if you'd like to come off mute and say your goodbyes, then we can do that right now. Yes.
Goodbye, Dr. Rob.
Thank you, Taylor. Goodbye, Taylor. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for having
Bye,
me.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Service, as always,
everyone.
Rev.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Jenny.
Bye, everybody.
Good to see
Goodbye,
you.
Sherry.
Bye.
Bye. Take good care.
You
Bye,
too.
Taylor.
Yes.
Bye,
Stay safe,
Rev.
Bye.
everyone.
Take
Bye.
care of
Bye, my
yourselves.
Bye,
Evie.
Rev.
Bye, Evie.
Bye, man.
Bye, Rev.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye, Manny.
Bye bye,
Bye,
Sherry.
Jennifer.
Bye.
Bye, David.
Goodbye,
Margaret.
Judy
Later,
Phillips.
David. Margaret.
God bless you.
Bye, Jennifer.
Adios.
Bye,
Bye,
John.
Nanny.
Good
Bye,
night.
Rev.
Okay.
Bye.
Goodbye, Christine B.
Bye.